Hey guys, my name is James.
And I'm Kayla.
And today we're going to show you how to set up the ultimate home gym, but first we have to measure. Let's take a look. So vicious. If we put the rig there, I reckon we'd have more room down this way for wall sitted stuff. So if we took up the whole wall at the back with a rig there.
And I almost feel like that's a better place for like the wall ball rack and kettlebell rack and a bit more storage stuff.
And yeah, and then we can put, so in here, because it's a double, we could put in ergs.
Yeah.
We could do a ski erg.
Yeah.
Bike erg, a roller,
you
could do a GHD, and I've always wanted a bench pull.
Yeah.
So we could put a bench pull in as well.
And then that leaves kind of the space just open, right?
Open space.
So pull up rig over there, storage stuff there, and then your equipment down the side.
And I'd really love to get some of the parallel bars. So the aim of this garage gym is we're going to try and make it into a miniature sole. So we're going to actually make a frame for each of the 3 walls, and then we're going to clad it like we did at Soul in the City, and we're going to put some wood planking on there. It's actually wooden floorboard vinyl planks, but we're going to put it up on the walls because it looks real nice and you can scuff it, you can handstand against it and it's nice and slippery. Yeah, I mean, we've spent the last like 7 or 8 years playing around with equipment at Soul, moving things in different places, and we now feel like we have the kind of perfect gym model. So we're just going to do the same thing here, just slightly smaller. Time to order the equipment. So let's start with the main thing that you always start with.
Flooring?
No, the rig.
Oh, okay.
The rig. So let's have a look at a rig.
Don't you need to go ground up?
Well, you always start with the rig.
The exciting stuff first.
Yeah. So I'm thinking something like this, a wall-mounted rig, 2 cells.
Yeah.
You've got like 5 pull-up stations.
Mm-hmm. And then you've got what, 2 squat stations there as well?
2 squat stations. And then something like this Evolve rack would look pretty sweet too. Just to store all the gear. So we'll have wall balls, dead balls. Yeah. Put kettlebells, dumbbells, weight plates. Yeah. And then you can actually add onto the side, you can add your barbell storage as well.
Okay, sweet. Looks really neat as well, which is important.
So the aim is we're going to try and get all this stuff in black and white. So it's going to have a bit of a different feel and color variation, but it's going to look super crisp.
Can you customize the colors?
Yep.
Sweet.
You can go whatever.
Can we go pink?
You can do pink, you can do green, you can do yellow, you can do red.
Okay, that's awesome. But yeah, I think black and white
will look awesome.
With maybe some hints of blue so we can be consistent with Soul.
So instead of grabbing just a 3-in-1 foam plyo box, I want to go for the block set, the soft block set, and do the 39-inch one. You can use it as a plyo box, you can use it as jerk blocks, you can use it as like block pulls, like for cleans and snatches and deadlifts and things.
And also, obviously, keeping the sound down as much as we can is important to us because this is a home environment, so we've got neighbours. So we can use some of those soft boxes that are quite low if we want to do heavy barbell stuff to drop them on, right?
Yeah.
Just help us kind of reduce the sound a little bit.
Wall balls, I reckon we do an 8-pound, a 14-pound, a 25, a 20, and a 30-pound. So we have a bit of variation.
Definitely need the 8.
And dead balls, we want to go up to 75 kilos. So we'll do a 20, 30, 40, 60 and 75. That kind of covers all bases without going over the top. I definitely want 2 utility benches. So just in case we do partner bench press workout, we can bench press at the same time. Yep, I want to get a GHD, parallettes, a digital timer. This is a list I made. Climbing rope, 2 climbing ropes, 2 sets of dual wall ball targets, AlphaFit have just made a really cool top-loaded farmer's carry handle set, brand new. That looks so good. So I want to get a set of them.
This is literally going to be a mini sole.
I know. And I really want to get a bench pull. So get a bench pull set up with a different variation grip bar. And then the ergs, I want to grab a ski erg, bike erg, a rower, an assault bike.
And an assault runner. Just going all out.
Might as well. What do you want? Extra weights?
Plush pillow.
Yeah. So what I think we do is we make a big list of everything that we could possibly want in there.
Yeah.
And just get it all.
Yeah, okay.
And then I think we draw it back to a master list of everything that we, essentially need that we think can fit in there.
Yeah.
And then we can get AlphaFit can do us a mock digital render of what it could look like if we give them the dimensions of the gym.
Right, okay.
And then we can give them the equipment list that we're looking at putting in there.
Yeah.
And then they can kind of space it out and look what's going to be the most space efficient setup for what we have. And then if we do have extra space, we can add more stuff in.
I guess that's cool because then you can actually see it like you can physically see where the equipment goes and they've got the exact measurements rather than us kind of thinking in our head what we think would look good there. And they've obviously set up, heaps of gyms before, so they'll have a good idea of how to space it out, which will be really cool.
Having the render is such a money saver because you could just buy too much stuff and it may not even fit. Whereas if you get the digital render done, you can exactly see how you want it to be set up. So it's a massive bonus. Sit.
Well, now we
wait. Over this way.
Sit down. As you can see, our dogs are very much a part of the AlphaFit team. They have Pippi. They have their own customized AlphaFit collar. It's like a barbell plate. And then on the back, we have their names.
Putting up the frames, well, I'm not putting up the frames, Luke's putting up the frames. They're making me look like I'm doing stuff, but basically we're getting these walls, the frames up on the walls so we can then clad them with the wood so then it looks like Seoul in the city, like we mentioned. Idea behind it is we can actually attach the rigs to this, we can attach other bits and pieces without just cladding directly onto the brick. So we've got almost 2 walls up or 2 frames up. Once we get this done, we'll do the rig wall. So we'll put a bit of extra bracing on that one so we make sure it doesn't fall down. But we're getting done pretty quick. We've been going for like maybe just under 2 hours. Not even, sorry, an hour. We've been going an hour, so we're getting done pretty fast. Hey Kayla, you grab a mop and stuff?
So is he any good? Would you take him?
Oh yeah, apprentice of the year, of the day. Change your career. Nope.
No thanks. She's good. Stage 1 of setting up the ultimate home gym is now complete. We have the frame bolted to the wall and the floor. We've just ordered some sheeting, some Villa board to put on the fascia, so then we can clad it with our wood grain clad to make it nice and slippery for the handstand push-ups, but also look nice as well. Got up pretty easy. It wasn't super difficult. The reason why we put the this skeleton up prior is I really wanted to make the gym feel like Seoul in at the city. I wanted it to be a place that was really inviting to come to. We could have really just left the brick wall exposed, but I just think putting in this here just gives that little bit of an extra touch. And for the wood, for all the brackets and the bolts and everything to put it together, I think it probably cost us about maybe $1,200 to $1,500. So some people might think, oh, that's a hell of a lot, and I could get an extra few pieces of equipment, but you know, it just makes the walls of the gym just so much more inviting to come into. It just makes the gym feel like you're not in a garage, but it makes you feel like you're in a gym and you've got your own gym. Plus, it also allows you to have some areas designated for handstand push-ups, and they're completely non-scuffable because we're using floor panels. So the floor panels are meant to be scuffed up a bit. They're going to be sweat-proof, all that type of stuff too. So yeah, this is just, you know, a bit of an extra touch just to make your home gym all that little bit nicer. We just received the final render and the final equipment list for our ultimate home gym from AlphaFit. So taking a look at it now, it's come through so beautiful.
It's like an exciting way to see what the end product's going to look like, because obviously we have this idea in our head, but now that we get to see it actually come through on the computer, we can get a good idea of what the final product will look like.
Yeah, so they've even put in the wall color that we are putting up for our wall cladding, which is pretty cool. So
makes it realistic.
Jess and the crew over there who've done the designs, Mr. Nilsson's getting a bit upset that he's not seeing this too, so I'm just going to grab him as well. Come here, boy. You can watch as well.
Our dogs are literally the most neediest dogs ever. They can't possibly sit on the ground while we're sitting on a table and not be involved, which is why I have Pippi here, because she wouldn't let me leave her on the ground.
So having a look, it starts off with a bit of an intro. It says James Newbury's home fit out. And then it gets into a couple of different variations of either bird's eye views or bird's eye angle views. They've shown where the roller doors and the doors sit, where the rig sits, and this is all to scale as well. So it's a 3D render. It gives us an idea on what the gym could look like and how we can best fit everything in the gym and make it as space efficient as we can, so we can still work out in as much room as we can. Make
sure we haven't over-ordered, which is extremely possible. So you can make sure that everything fits in like a good amount of space.
Yeah, it looks awesome.
I love it, I'm so excited. I just want to work out in it right now.
This is going to be the wall where the rig is actually attached to. So what Luke's going to do is he's going to put an extra couple of studs in just so we can fix into some stronger bits, so we have a little bit more
rigidity. Yeah,
it's just a bit more rigid on the wall. So if in the event that something goes wrong, which it won't, but it's just going to be a bit of a firmer pull-up bar, a bit of a firmer back squat bar, so we've just got a little bit more gripping onto the wall than just, you know, a few fixings across the wall. So just sturdying it up just a little bit. So day 2, we're putting up the villa board. We're facing the frames that we put up yesterday. Then we're going to be cladding it with the wood. So looking forward to getting these sheets up. Once this is done, we can start making the gym actually look like a gym. So yeah, pretty pumped to get it going. This shouldn't take us too long, maybe a couple of hours to get this stuff up, and then probably the most time consuming part will be doing the wood cladding, which will probably take us maybe 4 or 5 hours. But yeah, once we get all this up, it's going to be looking pretty sweet. Day 3, putting on the vinyl planks. These are what they're going to look like. They're pretty solid, so they're really easy to stick up on the wall. Just use some liquid nails. Basically, they all interlock just like it's floorboard, so or floor plank. So they all interlock into each other, sticks to the wall. It's nice and slippery for handstand push-ups, but it also makes the walls look nice, and they're also like scuff-proof. You can sweat on them and just wipe them down at the end. So these are pretty cheap. I got them in Melbourne. I think I got them for about $13 for a box, or thereabouts, $14 a box, and the box covers like 1.98 square meters. So to do all the walls isn't super expensive, but just gives it a nice touch. So this first layer is the most important part. So if you're gonna have a crack at this, make sure your first layer is nice and flat. Most concrete floors have a dip to one side. Mine's actually dipping slightly back towards the rear, which isn't great, but luckily we're making this nice and waterproof. So your aim is to make sure you get this nice and flat on your bottom section, so all the rest of your sections are nice and flat too. If you muck this part up, then the rest is going to be off. So make sure you take the time to get the first row around the whole section nice and flat. And yeah, we'll take you guys through on how to put it all up. It's always a little better, especially if you don't have a super quick set liquid nails, to get some out in some of the boards and let it kind of partially start to take, so when you do chuck it up, it sticks straight away. And then letting this dry for a little bit after the first line's on, so you don't start bearing tons of weight down on the first section. So I'm going to do a few before I get a mate to come over and help me do it. Once we start getting a bit of a rhythm with another person, getting this flowing, we can get it done in half the time. So I'm going to do a few ones just in front, and then work forward from there. Hey guys, it's been a couple of days. I've made some progress on the home gym. I've put in some bulkheads. I've run some cables for some downlights. The reason we popped in these bulkheads, and I wanted to clad them as well, aesthetically for one reason, just to cover up some beams that were up there that I wasn't a big fan of. And then also just for a spot to put some nice lights. So we've actually cut some grooves in the back so we can pop some downlights in, and we'll pop some up through the center, and we've run some cables too. Once this is done, which we're pretty close to finishing off, maybe another hour or two, we will clear all this stuff out, we will put some flooring in, and we'll start putting the gear together. All the gear from AlphaFit just arrived. We have over 2 tons worth of gear and flooring. All of it's going together today. We have the GHD, we have the rigs, we have all of the kettlebells, dumbbells, barbells, everything. So at the end of this, you'll see it all going together. First bit of flooring is going down the home gym. So what we're going to do is we're going to stagger these 600 by 600 squares just to make sure that, even though I don't think they're going to move regardless, it just might make it a little bit more seamless when you're training and moving these around, dumping weights, and you know there probably will be some type of expansion and shift. So if we stagger these on the halves here like this, it'll just make it all lock in a little bit nicer rather than trying to square it up, making it square and square, because then you just have to have 4 points nice and even, whereas this one, we're only locking it down to flat with 2. So that'll help. Okay, so what I like to do when I'm cutting my edges, just so I make sure that they're nice and straight and square, is I'll usually just fit it to the spot that I want, and then just pop it underneath my other square that I have, so I get a nice straight line. Push it all into place, and then use that as my little template to get a nice straight cut, and you can just use a regular Stanley knife. Oh, look, This is one of my favorite parts. Look how nice that is. So heavy, you just want to throw it. Whoa. So we're starting to put all the gear together today. We're going to start with the Evolve rack. So I'm just looking up how it actually looks to make sure we put it together correctly. We've put our sign up as well, which is something that I've been hanging out to do. And we've also chucked in some down lights just to make it nice and bright in here, but I have to get a few more fuses because our fuses, they blew up. So yeah, we're going to start putting some gear together. The rig's going in, bench pull, benches. Luckily GHD already came put together. And there you'll see it start taking some shape. Works.
Nice.
She works.
I think we'll be okay. Smooth.
Ergs. All the ergs. Yeah. We are about to assemble a rower, biker, and skier from Concept 2, and this is going to be done for time. Time starts now. Well, there's one that took 4.5 minutes. See if you can beat our time. They just keep going. 9. Number 2, down. That took us 5 minutes. Fuck you.
We're only up to 2 minutes here.
Played at 1.5 speed.
Finally finished. We took 4 minutes for that, 5 minutes for that, and an hour and 5 minutes for this. Alrighty, so we are 90% complete. We've just put all the gear together. We have a few little finishing touches to do to the gym, like some edging, a little bit of extra boarding and stuff like that, but that's coming. But the main bulk of it is done. We also have some extra gear still arriving that's being put in a zinc bath so we can pop it outside so it holds up to the test of the weather, and we're really close to the beach here, so we have to do that. But this is going to be the basic floor layout as it's going to stand. So I'm pretty happy with everything, the way it's looking and the amount of space we still have to work out inside when it's raining. But our step number 2 is to do the outside of the gym, which will be coming soon. Hey guys, so now that we've got majority of stuff done inside the gym. We're going to be working on the outside. So we're going to be cladding this wall, we're going to be cladding the front of the garage, and then we're going to be painting the roller doors and that door there black, just to get this all ready. So when we lay the floor out here, when the outdoor rig arrives after it's been zinc coated, just to protect it from the weather, we can make sure this is preset, ready to go, and then that'll be our final job, and then we'll be done. Making it black, giving it some added style. Come on. You guys don't think it's style?
What normally happens is you'd put tape around the glass, but when you're the 5th fittest man in the world, you don't worry about things of that nature. You just paint them straight over it.
I'm actually I gotta replace that door anyway. So the reason that we're using these platforms instead of the AlphaFit ones is I basically got a piece of plywood from Bunnings, and because these are going to be out in the rain and the sun and they're going to be getting trashed every day by the weather, I didn't want to have to, you know, replace an AlphaFit platform every single time it wore out, and it's probably going to get worn out fairly regularly. So just basically a piece of plywood from Bunnings, pop it in, when it wears out, pick it up, pop a new one in, and you're good to go. So guys, we have finished our home gym. Yay. We're so happy that it's all done. Everything's in, all the gear is here. We finished laying the flooring, the lifting platforms, the sign is up, and we just wanted to say a huge thank you to AlphaFit for helping us deck our ultimate home gym out, and hopefully it's given you guys some ideas to help you with your ultimate home gyms as well.
The service from AlphaFit has been fantastic. They always answered any question that we had, solved any problem that we have, and was super fast. So working with them was an absolute breeze. And I also thought I should mention that you guys probably noticed that I didn't have a lot to do with putting the actual gym together, but I'm gonna really enjoy using it.